Oh boy. Alright, it's been a while since I did this. Let's see. Okay, how's the audio? Is the audio working? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, audio is working. Okie dokie. Finally. Alright. Oh, hey. Hello, Umberto. Okay, so we got first person viewing. Hey, Umberto. Okay, let's see. Alright, let me send this stream over to the commissioner. What are you drawing? Okay, so for today, it's another YCH stream because it's been a while since I've actually done one of these. I think the last one was like a month ago or two, probably. Hang on, let me see. Let me check that actually. Oh, okay, like a month or two ago. So, today's a YCH stream for a new YCH I'm trying. It's an idea I had essentially for a magazine where one of the things I kind of wanted to try was making like a clothing related project, but I wanted a way to fund it, so I figured why not make it a YCH, which is what this is. So basically, it's going to be a bunch of YCHs that are all going to be like compiled together at the end of the month, and then I'm going to turn them into a magazine. Okie dokie. Here we go. So, welcome to the stream. It's a pretty early start. Like I said, it's been a while since I last did one of these, so I'm going to wait a sec for the people who want to get on to get on. And actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just get right into it because I mean, I'm sure folks will get on when they can. Why is this so big? There we go. Yeah, it's definitely been a decent chunk of time since I last did one of these. So this first one is going to be one of the more prominent ones. So this is going to be like a full page spread. Like this is going to take up a whole page on the magazine essentially. So, this one's definitely a bit pricier. I still have 3 slots if anyone's interested. But yeah, so let's get started. Where's the ref sheet? Here we go. This is character reference we're doing today. So they're a bit heavier, and let me see, clothing. So the whole thing for this one is I'm going to be doing original clothing designs for everything, kind of just based on a certain vibe. And yeah, okay, I think I have an idea for what I want to do here. Let me cut the backgrounds out. Dokie. Actually, you know what? Let me mark this one down before I do anything. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So we're starting off blank. Actually, you know what? I might add like a neutral color in the background just so I'm not looking at white the whole time. Much better. Okay. So we're starting off with Lexi's, and this should be pretty fun. Pretty simple start so far. Actually, let me post this to the other server. Here we go. Alright. Alright, and today I think I'm just going to get straight into it. So let's get started. Here's a character reference sheet. Doesn't seem like there's too many people on today, but I kind of imagine that would happen. So let's see. Ooh, wait, yeah, I think I gotta get rid of this real quick. Perfect. Much better. Okay, so the angle is a fisheye here, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, but it shouldn't be too hard, all things considered. Alright, so I think I'll start with the shape. Let me see. Getting ready, and this character has a bit of a royal vibe. Okay, I think I know what to do here. So the chest is clearly quite prominent, so I think I'm going to start there. But as for what specifically to do, good question. I did like the idea that maybe this was some kind of con or something that the character is getting ready for, or like a cosplay event or something. So I might do something relatively related to that. Let me see. So she has like a crown. She has a scepter. So metal, a lot of silver. I might want to keep that. You know, it might even be better to actually start with the head. Let's try that. This is the first one, so it's going to take a bit to get the hang of everything. Here we go. Of course, there's going to be a lot of detail in the glasses because they're so close up. Actually, no, that should just be like that because that's a fisheye lens. Here we go. Just pull that down here, like so. Perfect. Here we are. Okay. So we've got the glasses in. She does have a small nose here. So I think I'll put that right in there. My goodness, it's been so long since I last streamed. 1 whole month. I miss doing this. It was quite fun when I did. So let's make it clear where the nose is. There we go, and let's get her hair in. There we go. Ain't too bad so far. Now the part I'm really gonna have some trouble with is gonna be this crown, I think. Yeah, this is gonna be, actually no, it shouldn't be too bad. Assuming all goes to plan. Yeah, there we go. Trick is just getting it to line up with the lens. And since this is kind of a tough perspective shot, it's gonna be a little bit hard. But I really want the perspective of this crown to kind of get in there. You know what, actually, I might have to do something like that. Yeah, that might work a bit, teeny bit better. And I can add this, these little gemstones at the top. Just off in the distance. And then that central gemstone will be very much visible right here. Like so. There we go. Okay, so I think I've got her hair down pat. Let me get her eyes in, actually. she's definitely got this kind of archway shape going here. It shouldn't be too difficult to do. Here we go. You can just get it right. Here we are. Oh, okay, I really like this angle. Oh, why is that on polygonal? Sorry, polygonal. There we go. Much easier to select that now. Let's bring this down here. So I think that's pretty much her eye shape. I might correct this a teeny bit. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have a fair bit of detail for the eyes here, because this is pretty visible right there. So I think, yeah, I think I would do something like this here. Not sure if I should make the muzzle super prominent. I think I'll just leave that as is. There we go, get the ears in. A little bit more detail in the hair. There we are. Okay, so I think I'll leave this head just kind of as is for now. I think I'll get a better idea of what kind of expression she's going to have later on. So for now, I'll just add the chest tuft. You know what, actually, let me use some of this. I've really been enjoying using this brush in particular lately. I like the kind of softer look it gives at times. Let's try that. There we go. You know what, actually, I think I'm going to lower the glasses here. I'm going to lower the eyes. Make the hair also lower. And a bit wider too, I think. Let me get that smooth brush I was using earlier. Actually, make that shrink a bit. So I think this is a relatively good angle for it. No, it's hard to say for sure. Yeah, I think this is fine. Ooh, wait, I have an idea now. Okay, I'm gonna consult with the commissioner. Let's see. Let's see what the commissioner has to say. Yeah. Okay. They're as stumped on this as I am. So the current idea I had. Hey, Mark's up. Oh my god. Hi, Mark. Sorry, I was eating. I was eating some food. I thought nobody was still on stream. Okay. So, how's the audio? Is the audio work? Here we go. Where am I? I'm in the most recent part of the stream. Yeah. All right. So, since you just joined, this is the YCH stream I'm doing. This one's a little different than normal. So this one is huge. I got the idea after I finished the last one. I wanted to try it at the very least. Like if this doesn't go too well, I'll probably just go back to doing like, like regular YCHs and whatnot. But I wanted to give it a try. And so for this one, the basic idea is pretty simple. I'm basically doing a lot of YCHs, and each one of them is going to be like compiled at the end of the month into one big kind of like magazine thing that is all just going to be put together, and like it's going to be readable and whatnot, and all the YCHs are going to have their own little slot. This is one of the bigger ones. This is like a full page one essentially. So a bit more work, a bit more pricey, and definitely a much harder angle than some of the other ones I'm doing. I haven't really done a fisheye lens before, but I wanted to give it a try because I thought it would be very nice and dynamic. Ooh, very fun. Yeah, I mean, hopefully people also enjoy it. This is definitely the first time I'm ever doing something like this, so I'm gonna see how it goes. Actually, wait, let me make the base a little lighter, just so I can actually see her head. Okay, so I asked the commissioner, hit me with the super cosplay. Okay, so they wanted the fantasy look. I had two ideas in mind. One that was like really sporty, um, very much like very summery, but they wanted the fantasy look I had in mind, so we're gonna go with that. So straight off the bat, it's gonna be a little different than the original design. So the original character has, yeah, much more fur at the top, and I'm gonna forgo that a little bit instead for this kind of fluffy kind of crest going over her shoulders. Or actually, yeah, it should look a bit more like this. I want her to look really regal, but also very casual. Or maybe, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going all out. Just all regal. Just go nuts. So this is the first one. So this is going to take some working through for sure. Like I'm definitely going to make some adjustments because fisheye lenses are definitely not easy to do on average, I would say. So this is going to take a bit of adjusting, especially since I'm not used to this angle. But I'll give it a shot. So the chest comes out here. Let me think, what do I have in mind for this? Ooh, okay, good. I have a really good idea for this. So this part should swoop across like this, across the chest, and it should fold out like so. And then I'm gonna do a cross pattern, cross stitch of leather going across here. I think I'm gonna use the softer brush for this because I think this would work a lot better for this part. I've really been enjoying this softer brush. I've been using it in a lot of particularly like, oh, actually, wait, I can't spoil that because that's not coming out yet. I don't think I've even shown anyone that yet. But yeah, I've been using it in some comic pages and stuff like that for something that is of no particular importance whatsoever that I am definitely not working on. Here we go. Perfect. There we are. Okay, I really like how that kind of folds in. Okay, now this cross part is going to be a bit more difficult. So I think to do this, I actually have to, if I remember how this is done correctly, I think I actually have to put the cross points on first, like so, kind of like on a couch. And then I have to connect them up like this. Let's try it. Yeah, something like that. Now getting this to work with the angle is probably the hardest part more than anything. I definitely gave myself a bit of a challenge this time, but I like trying new things. So let's give it a shot. I might go over these little buttons, these little seam points once or twice, but you know, it is what it is. Very neat look though, for sure. Oh, thank you. I like this a lot. I've never really had the guts to try it properly because it is definitely, it's time consuming bare minimum, and it's just like really tough to figure out sometimes, but I want to give it a try here. So I think I'll define these buttons a little more, these little points in between the fabric. And I'll make the cushion a bit more visible here too. Okay, I really like how that looks actually. So then I think I'm actually going to put some like epaulets or some kind of shoulder armor here. What would look good here? Will look really nice. Let me think. Okay, so reflective surface here. And climb that up here. Bit more fluff on this part, I think. There we go. No, actually, let me try something different, because I don't think that's going to work quite as well as I think it will. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really kind of armorize this part. Like so. So her shoulder comes out over here, which means the bend of that would come over here. That's where the fold of the metal would be. And then I think I'll add like a ton of like really just fancy engravings on everything. So she does have a bit of a winter theme going on. Ish. Yeah, more or less. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and lean into that a bit. Something like so. Like maybe like a snowflake engraving across the shoulders or in this little button here. Actually, no, I'll keep that like so. And then over this part, I'll do some kind of geometric thing. Let's try it. Damn, that just looks like Britain now. Hang on, let me try something different. I definitely want to do something unique for this, because she's a really neat character, and I want to get something right. Actually, wait, before I do anything, let me add the shading for the neck over here. This is why I love this brush. This brush is so good for like block shading, just with the liner. It's so powerful. Because you can kind of get this, like, you can either do this like blur effect here, which looks really good, or you can just really make it dark. Don't look at how crusty my line work is right now. Don't mind that. You know, actually, I'm going to give her neck a teeny bit of, like, fluffiness here. There we go. Maybe have that bend in a little bit here. Or no, that's enough. Yeah, like so, I think. Hee hee hee. How are you doing, Mark? How have things been for you lately? A lot of work? Nothing terrible, but I am tired. Yeah, I can imagine. This is usually the season when everything kind of happens at once, isn't it? Okay, so add in her like tummy here, and then I think I'll continue the kind of fold over pattern of this fabric. So I think I'm actually going to put a pattern on some of this like coat part of it. I'm going to have this part kind of come over. Just out of curiosity, I wonder what looks like on the other side. Okay, yeah, this is a very hard angle. I might even forego some parts of the angle. I just want to try something different. She look, I think I made the head a teeny bit too big actually. Oh no, the angle actually, hang on. Yeah, I'll mess with the, I think it's just that I don't have the arms yet. Ooh, yeah, finishing stuff before semester ends, plus the train was late. Oh my goodness, why is the train always late, dude? The train is like specifically just trying to inconvenience you. Here we go. Train is always late, literally every single time it's late. Okay, so I think I'll do this kind of like triangular male pattern for the shoulders, which I kind of think looks neat. And then I'll make her hands a teeny bit more exaggerated. Except, of course, when it's early. Oof, yeah. In this middle one, I'll add like a teeny bit of patterning just to make it kind of fit in more with the leather pattern that we've got. I don't know if that works or not. Actually, wait, no, I think I'll just leave that as normal for now because this needs to be a She needs like a large block of something on the shoulder. Let me redo this, because this doesn't look quite as correct as it should be. Okay, I see now. So what I actually should have been doing was this, because this would make a bit more sense with the angle that this is kind of working at. It's like it's coming around the shoulder, not on top of it. Yeah, this makes a bit more sense, I think. And it gives me more opportunity to mess with the actual shoulder pad right here. Like so. Down here, yeah, I'm just locked in for this one part in particular because these little kind of shingle bits almost are really, really hard to kind of conceptualize fully, I suppose. It's definitely a really, really rough angle looking down at them rather than like from any other point in perspective. But we're gonna work with it. Okay, I do really like that. Actually, that looks really cool. Okay, and just for the hell of it, let's add some leather up top here. Just for the fun of it. Okay, that looks kind of nuts actually. That looks crazy. I do really like that. Okay, and this is a good opportunity to put a bit of reflection on these. So I'll do that now, I think. You know what? That might look better actually without this bit here, because this is already really detailed. So I think I might just leave that the single plate, because this is still going to be shaded later. So there's still a lot of detail to add. Yeah, something like that should be good enough. And I think I'll add like fluffy kind of gloves here, maybe. I do like how that might look. Actually, wait, let me just, what am I doing? I literally have the line art base right here. So I think this part is just going to be like pretty much the same, just like gloves. Like so. Here we are. Oh my goodness, what is going on outside? I don't know if you can hear that. There's like 10 fire trucks passing by where I live. Whatever it is, it ain't me. What is going on out there? Okay, well, I hope whatever it is, it's alright. Okay, I think it's picking up. Goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Every now and then there's just like 20 fire trucks that'll pass by like where I live. It's like, I guess where I live is like the only way they can go. I have no idea. Get a little hectic sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna send this to the commissioner. I'm gonna see what they think. Okay, what does this look like with the background? Okay, with the background it makes a lot more sense. It's very hard to judge this at this angle because it's such a weird angle, and this is definitely an experiment for me. Let me try this. Hey, let me grab this line art over here and recycle this arm. Okay, here we go, and then I can just erase this part. We add in the parts for the glove. Add that in again up here. Actually, that should be like here, I think. And then I'll add some fluff up here. Some of the iconic fluff. And then the armor trim, like up here. So this part won't be as visible just because of where it is on this part of the shoulder, but it still should be a little bit visible like there. Might have to, actually, I think I might have to move the arm up a little bit. Yeah, I gotta move the arm up to at least around there, I think. So that this part of the arm is visible going down, and then I think I'll just keep that. I think I might actually, I think I'll just do the plating on that one section. And I'll just have this carry over up back. God, this is so weird. I'm not used to this, like, really exaggerated shape. Hang on. I think for the legs, I can probably just borrow them from the original YCH for what I have in mind. Yeah, I'll just yank these off. Dokie, and okay, what was her tail like? Oh, wow, she has really big tails. Okay, that shouldn't be not too much of a challenge. I think I can do that. Yeah, worst comes to worst, I think I'm just gonna readjust the head shape. Yeah, buttons. So I think buttons would go really well here. Going underneath. So a few up there. I think I'll even add like a little bit of fabric, or ooh, maybe some more like bits of fluff over here. Just clean that part up a bit. It's a very fluffy character after all. Here we go. And then I'll just add the little, what are these called? Folds, I think. These are called folds. Yeah, it's like the armor that goes over the thigh, like the top part. Here we go. Clean that up a bit. Okie dokie. Okay, for 39, okay, for 40 minutes, this is pretty good progress, I think. Okay, so let me add that there. I like this leather pattern that I've got going, so I think I'm going to use this as a motif throughout her whole design. So there we go. Let me put this over here and just shrink it a bit. And just fix some of these lines. And just clean that up. Okay. So I'm going to add more to this, but just out of curiosity, what does this look like with the background? Oh, one sec. Let me up the sandbagging on that. Here we go. Oh yeah, I really like the little addition of the buttons here. Actually, let me clean that up a bit. Add a little bit of kind of stocking down here, I think. I think that should look good. Bruh. Oh my god, I'm so friggin' tired. I don't know why I felt so ass yesterday. It was nuts. Pretty sure I'm like just extremely deficient in vitamins. Because I actually like had a bunch like yesterday. And I just immediately started feeling better. That and I actually like fell asleep. Yeah, I don't know. It's annoying, but it is what it is, you know? You know, I just felt so bad. It's like a story that I heard once from like my sister, where she was like her friend. Apparently, her roommate thought he was dying, so he called the ambulance or something, and like her roommate was just like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on? Did he die or something? Like what happened to him?" And the dude, like her fucking roommate, could just hear from the other side of the wall where the dude, like the paramedic, like walked into this dude's house, and they were like, he's like, "Dude, bro, you're not dying. You just gotta eat better." Because apparently he was just eating like peanut butter sandwiches for like a week straight because he just had exams or something, like nuts like that. Like it was just absolutely insane. I don't know. I guess it just kind of goes to show you that you should eat a little more than peanut butter sandwiches and like not sleep only like 3 hours a day. You know, because I feel way better now after basically not doing that. Okay, so I've been there. Don't want to. Yeah, I know. I was kind of slipping into that again. Every now and then I have this like drive that kicks in where I'm like, I just have to do a ton of work, and if I don't do it, I'm gonna be miserable. And then I just get miserable anyway. I know. I hate it when I do it. It's such a bad habit. Here we go. Fix up the stockings. Hee hee. Yep. Yeah, I hate it. There we go. Okay, so I think yeah, I've got the look of her stockings down. A bit of a gap here. Okay. Her ears are kind of perplexing me because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this angle. So I think I'm just gonna leave this round for now. I'm gonna leave this like this, just because I want to see what this looks like with the background, because I might be getting tripped up with no background. As long as the fisheye is working, then I should be fine. Okay, so put that there, and then put that here, and now let me put the background. Hmm. Okay, the arms need to be bigger. I see now. Yeah, the arms need to be bigger. So make her arms bigger. Okay, yeah, her arms need to be bigger. Been up there, random urge to never stop until I finish the thing. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like you just get obsessive about something and then it kind of just doesn't leave. I hate it when it happens. Yeah. So I think I need to shift her very slightly over to the left. Her head needs to be smaller and her arms need to be bigger for this to work. And they also need to be a little more spread out. I'm kind of just working with what I got here because the magazine does have dimensions that I need to stick to. And that's going to make this a little tougher than it needs to be. But I appreciate a challenge now and then. Okay, now let me make her head a bit smaller because I think I made it a little too big. Bring her back to the center. Like that, maybe. Or just like gigantic. Let me try something. If I just make all of her like generally a bit larger. Then make her legs a bit smaller. Just in volume. There we go. Okay, I think that's actually kind of making sense now. So let me try this. Oh, I have to up the sandbagging a lot, don't I? Yeah, okay. Oh shit. Here we go. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. So since this is the first one, this is also serving as a bit of a kind of testing ground for what the right proportions for these characters should be. Just generally speaking. Okay, and her tail is here, so let me just fill that in quickly. And her legs. Okay, so she should actually probably be a bit more like this, I think. No. So I think the arm is fine, actually. I'm going to keep the arm small. But I think it's the head that needs, yeah, the head needs adjusting. Or it might actually just be the legs. I get the feeling like it's just the legs. Let me see. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, what do you think? Does... Oh shit, hang on, let me get rid of this. What am I looking at? Does this look off? Like, does the angle look a bit too strange to you? Do you think, okay, well, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Like, does it look a bit too exaggerated? Like, does it not make sense? What do you think? Actually, wait, I should just to clarify this. Oh my god, 40 layers already? What? The final version is going to look a little more like that. So, like, the edges are going to be blurred out. Like that or something. I don't know how I feel about it. Background might not be fisheyed enough. Yeah, maybe. This is the current background. Let me just proportion the hell out of it real quick. Actually, wait, no, I think I just need to... Or actually, wait, I suppose since it's the background would be affected as much. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on, I see what you mean. Okay, let me try this one. This one is just the wackiest angle I have. Okay, maybe... I get the feeling like it's just the lower body that's throwing me off. Like if I make the lower body really small, does that help it? I think that makes it worse. Okay, well, this is still a little too exaggerated. Okay, what if I try like this, and then I readjust the head completely? Like so. Yeah, what if I just do this, and then... Kinda, I don't know. I'm kind of just playing with the angle here first. Wait a minute. I know what the problem is. I made the shoulders too low down. I see now. Yeah, okay. I see what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. Okay. So I think the head is fine. The head is actually probably the part that's the most fine. But the shoulders are completely throwing me off. Okay, let me try this. So I think if I just adjust the shoulders, it should look okay. I'm in troubleshooting an art piece. Okay. So I think... Yeah, so this part is too high, or there's too much detail, because at this angle her head should actually be a lot lower, and this arm also needs to be a lot lower. Literally just debugging an art piece right now. Okay, so this needs to be here, actually, I think. And then this needs to be... Okay, well, first of all, this is a little too much tail right now. Let me get rid of this. So I think this needs to be like this, and this needs to be a lot closer, and her chest needs to be a bit bigger. So like this top part needs to be bigger. Very slightly for the effect to make sense. Like that. Like she's actually like leaning forward almost, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Hang on. Bit more angle here. feel like I'm close, but I can't quite figure it out. Hang on, fisheye lens. Okay, what's the angle for this person kind of look like? Yeah, okay, I see it now. I understand now. So her shoulders need to be in, and her chest needs to be really large at this angle. So this should be like so. Because at the angle she's at, her chest would actually be probably covering a lot more. Okay, just to test this. Okay, let me adjust that again. And then make the arms a bit bigger. You know, actually, I think I had it closer before. Damn, this is harder than I thought. Okay, let me try this. I'm going to manually adjust every single limb until it works. So I think this arm is okay. This arm is fine. I can tell that much. I'm just like debugging here. Okay. Let me try this again. Or you know, what if I just totally restart? What did I do wrong? I'll still use aspects from it, like I'll just copy paste it, but I just want to see. So her shoulders should be like so, which means her chest would be like so. And then her legs would actually be like this. Because something isn't right. I don't quite know what it is. Something ain't right. Yeah, because I think the head is fine. So the arm should be like that. Like this. Actually, let me adjust the shoulder again. Like so. Maybe like this. Okay, I'll keep that. Okay, no, it is the arm that's doing it. Let me... Where's the other arm? This needs to be longer. This needs to go here. This needs to be angled slightly. And this needs to be right there. Like so. Or honestly, maybe that might even need to be a lot bigger. What if I just make the arm really big? Even better, what if I just switch the positions of the arms so that the longer one is in the spot that has more space, and then like so. I'll tell you what though, this is definitely good practice for perspective, if nothing else. Yeah, okay, I see. I think I get this. I think I understand. And then in 10 seconds, I will not understand. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's see. So I think this kind of makes sense. And if I use the arm from this one and then put it on the other side, I think that will make more sense. I hope this isn't tedious for like a viewer watching. If this isn't too tedious, because this is just kind of me trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Ooh, wait, okay, I think I'm getting somewhere now. So I think this just needs to be... I know it's tricky as heck, yeah. I hope at the very least seeing the perspective kind of move around is kind of fascinating, because this is definitely fascinating for me. Because one of the things I've always had a lot of trouble with is top-down perspective, which can be really hard to figure out. And so, like, this is a good excuse to practice. At the very least, get it right. Because I really, really want this one to be right. Alright, let's try this. Okay, I think that arm being there makes a lot more sense. And maybe just adjusting this one plate very slightly will make it perfect. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, I think. So now, I think that's a bit more accurate now. Okay, let me yank this out. Okay, yeah, no, that definitely looks better. Let's see. Okay. So I think that works. Do the legs down here work with this pose? Kind of, yeah, a little bit. Why are there just like 3 pixels there? What? That's so weird. Okay. So I think this is starting to make a bit more sense now. unless of course, got something a bit wrong here. Okay, well I think I can take this fabric part at the very least. Like I can just yank this right out. Just reuse that. So I think that part's fine. Yeah, I can just use this. And then I'll just redo a little bit of fluff here. Okay, so this is one of those art pieces you gotta look at from a far away angle pretty much the whole time. Okay, that's good to know, especially for the other pieces, because figuring this out early on is definitely going to be a big help. Okay, good start so far. So I think just to really accentuate this perspective, we'll add like a little chain going across the front here. And that'll connect up here. Okay, now what to do here? Yeah, I think a lot of it really does just boil down to whether or not the arms look right. Okay, so let me get rid of this part of the chest. What if I just use this part of the arm? Make it a lot lower, like here. And then I take this part of the shoulder, and then I adjust this like so. Let's see. Very quickly clean that part up. And I'll bring back some of the chest fluff up here. This is a challenging one, but this is probably one of the funnest pieces I've done in a long time. It may not sound like it, but I'm actually really entertained by this. This is really special. I don't know. I've never really done something like this. So this is definitely this is neat. I can't even lie. Okay, what if I did something unique and I actually just gave her like a little chest kind of neck brace of like gold or something kind of coming up here. Yeah, this is like fascinating. Here we go. Actually, I think this might need to be a teeny bit more angled. Like so. Hmm. something like so. And just really, really, really pull the arm down here. Because I think that's the thing. If the arm doesn't look like it has depth to it, then the rest of it won't. Clean up the fingers a bit here. It's a bit too thick for the lines. I'll just leave it like that. Okay. Why is there just... There's 1 pixel there. Okay, it's really cool to see. Oh, well, I appreciate it. This is definitely not an angle you really see in a whole lot of stuff I've generally seen, but I wanted to try it because I thought it would look good for the magazine. Okay, so I think if her legs are actually like here, it might make a bit more sense. Like she's leaning forward, which is the original idea. Yeah, actually, wait, I think I see, I think this is starting to take a bit better shape now. I have a much better idea of like what this angle is supposed to look like now. Okay, so let me, I'm lazy. I'm just gonna make this part metal. Actually, no, I'll continue the little leather pattern we've got going here. There we go, wasn't too bad. Maybe just shade that a bit more. Okay. So I think bare minimum this looks like she's leaning forward, which is the idea. She needs to look like she's leaning forth. I think the biggest challenge was just that this was a much larger character than I kind of was ready for, but unironically, this is probably a good start. It's definitely it's a lot better to get the hard stuff figured out first, because then it's going to make doing it again later a lot easier. Actually, wait, let me put the button back. Yeah, let me really, really play around with the perspective on the buttons here. The buttons are coming back. Fret not, Mark. Hello, Robert. Hello. Okay, here we go. Have you seen those videos? I keep getting them recommended. I don't know. Oh, you know what I gotta play? Speaking of Robert, I gotta play Dispatch at some point. Buttons, yippee. Okay, and then I think I gotta make these buttons a lot bigger, just to really kind of cement that perspective. Okay, and now, if I put her arm in somewhere, it should make a bit more sense. I've heard Dispatch is pretty good, but I haven't seen much myself. Yeah, I've like completely spoiled for it. Like I already know what happens just because I keep getting YouTube shorts for it. So like I already know everything, but it's really, really, really good. Um, they definitely knew what they were cooking up when they made it. Yeah, no, I've been spoiled for like the entire thing, and it only took like a week. It's YouTube shorts for you. Okay, I think now her body makes more sense. I think her body makes a lot more sense now relative to her head. Or like this angle is just more correct. So I think I can add a bit more thigh here. Close friend has been playing it and talking about it, but I haven't been able to piece much together. Yeah, no, it's good. It's pretty good. Sorry. Actually, you know what? I think I might leave her like this. You know, I still have that. There's like a scene where one of the characters is just like, okay, actually, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to spoil it. I will not ruin it for someone else. That's what I was referencing earlier. Maybe her stomach should be pulled in a teeny, teeny, tiny bit. Okay, no, this is fine. Character looks like super very funny. Okay, I'm trying to reuse the arms, but I might just have to bite the bullet and just redraw them, honestly. Ooh, wait, hold up. Hold up. Wait just a second. Nope, that doesn't look right. Okay, I might just have to bite the bullet and redraw them. But I think I have the angle of her body down right, at the very least. I think this looks kind of right. Yes, yeah, I think this makes a bit more sense now. And while I'm at it, I can actually raise the kind of petty, like, I don't know what this is called. This like coat part. I think I can raise this up a bit more, going over her shoulders. And then I think I'll simplify this part, just so the perspective is a little easier to gauge. Yeah, no, dude, the arms really do make or break this piece. It's crazy how much the arms really affect the perspective of it. Okay, let's try this again. Oh my god, did I just get that, like, kind of first try? Almost. Almost, almost. I think this one's right. Right enough. This one needs fixing. My goodness. Okay, here we go. Let me try this again. So yeah, her shoulders just need to look like we're looking at them from above, and then her arms need to be taking up a lot of that more, like negative space in the back. That's what I was tripping up on earlier, I think. Because I had it like her arms were from the front and her shoulders were from the top, and that's why it wasn't looking right. Yeah, there we go. That makes a bit more sense at just that specific angle. But I think I just need to make this one bigger to compensate, and it should be good. And then I think once I add in her ear, which will probably take up a lot of the screen, like this, something like that, the illusion will kind of just figure itself out. I think I just need to make her head a tiny bit lower. So there's just going to be a lot of cleanup in this one. That's for sure. Actually, no, this is fine. Joe big ass ears out of the caption. Real. Here we go. Okay. I have a much better. I don't forget to. Oh yeah, possibly redo. Yeah, no, the tail. You're right about that. The tail is gonna. I think the tail actually is gonna look really small, just because at this specific angle, that's what would make sense. What does her head look like again? Okay. Okay, I see. It's like this kind of. Thank you for reminding me of the tail, because I actually probably would have forgotten that. Can I reuse the hand for this, actually? I might be able to. I think I can, bare minimum, I can use the hand. Yeah, the hand should be okay. Hand's fine. And then I'll have some kind of pauldron at the top. Like so. Or even better, maybe that's just like her shoulder. That'd be a nice way to break up the shape. Like so. Okay, let me try that. So this one took a fair bit of adjusting, but I'm glad I figured it out on this one. And hopefully Lexi also really likes this piece. Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense than what I had before. What did I have before? What did that look like? Yeah, no, this makes a lot more sense. I think her legs just need to be adjusted one last time. I think this leg needs to be adjusted. Actually, no, let me leave it like that. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. As for this arm, I don't know what I'm going to do with this arm. Just like... Wait, hold up. Kind of works, actually. Yeah, I might just use that, honestly. I might erase this part up here. And just really have her shoulder kind of... Just lower this part and then really accentuate her shoulder on it. Her shoulder on it. Oh my goodness. And I think I actually might need to make her head a tiny bit bigger just to really sell this. Her soldier. Favorite part of the body. Or maybe the body needs to be smaller. Okay, let me try this again. Whole lot of adjusting. Let's see. No, whoops, I forgot to... whatever. Okay, I think this angle makes a bit more sense. Because this looks much more top-down. So I think I'm going to go with this. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense, and I can add a little bit more fluff up here. Now, okay, now I just have to clean this all up, I think. And I'll just borrow the glove from this one, too. Slightly better angle. There we go. Alright, perfect. Okay, I think that finally actually makes way more sense, and yeah, I think this is like perfect now. At least as much as I know with my current knowledge of how a fisheye angle would work. So I think bare minimum, this is going to look a lot better with the perspective, and I can actually add in her shins here. Actually, her left shin should be a little smaller. Just out of curiosity, if I made her hip kind of cinch in a bit more. Okay, it works, but I kind of want to keep her a little softer because that's what the commissioner wanted. And I think I might make her shoulder up here a teensy bit bigger. The shoulder also a little bit bigger. just there. And just a very, very slight cleanup here. This is a bit of a tangent, but I think it works fine. Okay, that is so much better than... Yeah, okay, that works way better than what I thought it was gonna look like. Okay, that was tough, but we got it. We got it working. It looks all right. I think just to sell the angle, I'll actually make your mouth have a bit more perspective. Like so. Finally, here we go. Okay, I can actually probably start moving to color with this one now. Actually, no, I'll see what the commissioner wants for the expression, because I kind of like this smile. Okay, the two tails are huge. They're basically her size, and I think in order to do that, I'm going to have to, like, really play with this perspective here. I think the tails are actually going to have their own, like, separate layer, so that I can blur them individually. Because where would that be? Like, on the background? Ooh, wait, I think I see now. So they would be going this way, which means they'd be like this big here, and way bigger at the base, like that almost. And then this one would be something of a similar story, just way less visible. There we go. And I think this should make a teensy bit more sense. Okay, the ear, yeah, them big ass ears is gonna be in the caption, it seems. I don't know, the tail's perplexing me a little bit now. Because I can see it, like I can see what it would look like in my head. Maybe it's actually not that, maybe it's just this. Maybe it's literally just this like really simple shape and it's actually not that deep. Okay, I'll try this. I'll see how this goes. I'll leave that there for now. Her tails don't really have a tip, I've noticed. They're kind of just like, I think this is like a, I think it's dipstick. Is that the shape? I don't know what it's called. Okay, that'll have to do for now. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Let me clean this part up. Okay, maybe it also might be smart to not be using a hammer for a scalpel job. Sort of her tail is like that, and like that. So the angle really just shows. Or is that a bit, that might be a bit too angled. make her a little bit wider. How's her face look again? Okay, so I've got her glasses, I've got the cheek tufts, I have her hair down. I might make the crown bigger. Yeah, the crown should be a little bigger. And actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna really like exaggerate the hell out of the crown's perspective. Yeah, there we go. That should something like that. Like that, I think. I can even add like a teensy bit more hair over here before I add the ears. Okay, I'll send this to the commissioner. We'll see what they think. Okay, damn, I was getting kind of worried there for a sec. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this. That was tough. Okay. I can't even lie. This was definitely a bit of a rougher one. Nah, it's fine. Don't worry. I would have still kept at it no matter what. I was just worried I wouldn't be able to do this all in one stream today, but it seems like I'll at the very least be able to finish all the flat colors. If not, maybe the shading too, before I gotta head out. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have like a separate layer for the ears, because goodness me, these are quite large. At least they're gonna be quite large. They're gonna have to be at this angle. Okie dokie. Okay, try this. Okay, I'll leave that blank for now. So we have the tails, we have the ears. I don't think I'm missing anything particularly grand. So let me just fill this in. See what this looks like with the background. Oh god, please don't do this. Oh my goodness. Besides being annoying again. Oh no, we're good. Is there anything else I need to fill in? I don't know, like that maybe. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. That was tough. Okay. Got me sweating there for a sec. Why did that not invert? There we go. Okay, and with the background, that actually looks really good, I think. Woohoo. Hooray. And then with the ears, it should make a bit more sense too. So I think the first ear would just be like there. Might just have to play it by ear, just see what the shape looks like, and then just put it where the shape is. Actually, no, I think that's good. This is a clean shape. There we go. Okay, I really like that ear shape. I think that looks really cute. Okay, clean that up. Clean this part up too. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna send this to them. Actually, wait. Very slight adjustment. I tell you, I actually was like a little worried for a sec that I was like, ooh, wait, I might not be able to do this all in one stream. Or like I was like, oh, I might have to change up the fisheye lens, but I think I got this. I really want to do the fisheye lens because I have an idea for the magazine that I think would work really good with it. Okay, let's see what they think. Okay, hopefully they like it. Oh, thank God I've actually got something to do for once. It's been so long since I've done one of these YCHs. Okay, alright. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're really happy with the angle. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad they're happy with it. Because goodness me. Okay. Colors, or is there anything you want to change? Okay. That was rough. Is there anything? Oh my God, you can hear all my typing like a comical soundboard. Goodness, okay. Now that that's out of the way. Is there anything else I need to do here? I asked if there's any adjustments that they want. Clackety. Yeah, my keyboard is really loud. Okay, where do I have to line the ear here? Oh, actually, I gotta line the hair here too. Okay, so I think I can just erase this little tuft of hair here in this part of the crown for this ear, and then for the other one, I'll just like manually adjust it. You have no idea how relieved I am that this actually went like okay. I was like, man, I'm telling you, I was seriously worried. I didn't think I would be able to do this angle right. At least not in this stream. But I think it should be good to move on to color. I think they said it's okay. Let me see. Go right ahead. Excellent. Pleasure. Dude, thank you, Lexi, so much for commissioning this one, because I really needed to do something like this. I needed a YCH to get done. Thank you, Lexi. Okay, what's that shape? Okay. Delete that. And then I think... or maybe the smooth one might be better for this. Yeah, this one's a little blurrier because it's in the background. Teensy bit more the midground, I guess, would be a better term for that. Okay, I think she is just fine to color now. Actually, let me do a quick once over just to make sure there's nothing like too egregious that's going to cause problems for me when I'm coloring. Nope. Okay, that looks fine for the most part. Oh, almost missed that. And I almost forgot to add this part for the stockings. And this part for the buttons. And is there anything else I missed? No, the chains are good. Ooh, this is a little funky. Fix that. Actually, you know what? Let me readjust these quickly. Don't want to be too absurd with the amount of time I'm spending for these details, but I do want these to look right. There we are. And a slight divot on the button. Okay, the gloves look okay. Tails look fine. Oh, this is going to cause problems for me. Let me fix that. Don't know why that looks like that. Actually, let me fix that. Okay, and this tail might need a teensy bit of adjustment here, just to fit with the other one. There we go. I might even have to do that, actually. Does that look right with the background? No. That one looks better. It's not super accurate to how it should be, but I think it looks a teeny bit better visually. I don't think she has any features on her face I need to keep in mind. Oh, her eyebrows. Actually, I think she kind of looks better without them. Or I'll just add them later. I'll see what it looks like later with the color. Okay, we can finally get to color now. Phew, okay, that was rough. I'm so glad this came out as nice as it did, because, like I said, had me stressing a bit there. Okay, let's see. Well, I can get rid of that, because I don't really need that anymore. Yeah, I'm just gonna yoink. Okie dokie. So color palette is gonna be the hard part. So she's really blue, but I think what would contrast really well would be like a really dark kind of palette here. So I just have to make sure she contrasts enough with the background. Yeah, something cold-ish like this. I like the kind of wintry vibes she's given off. Okay, so if anyone is interested in getting one of these for yourselves, I still got about 3, maybe 2 slots for this specific one. So this one is basically going to have like a full page for it, whereas the other ones are going to have just like quarter pages or just like little cameos basically. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I can actually relax now. Okay, what do her hands look like? Are they just blue too? No, her hands are white. Or you know what? I'll make this a bit easier for myself. I'm going to use her exact color because it's a little bit desaturated and I kind of want to work with this. Yeah, it's a nice color. Saturate that a tiny bit more. Actually, no. No, we'll leave it like that. Can I make this darker? No, I'll leave that that way. Okay, let me take the background off. What does it look like with this one? Oh, it looks really good with that one, actually. Okay. What did I have in mind for this? Okay. So first things first, all the darks have to go in. Actually, this should be more like this. Yeah, I want to do something kind of royal, or just regal, I suppose. I think that would look good. Very schmancy, very fancy. So I see these gloves being probably like a kind of beige almost. Or no, that wouldn't contrast enough with the hands, so this should be yellow or orange. Yeah, a bit more orange, I'm thinking. And then this part should be beige. What color best suits the fluff of this all? Because that's really what the crux of this is. What color does the fluffy part need to be? Actually, let me get the dark a bit better on this, or maybe... Ooh. The burgundy does look nice. I might use that, honestly. Oh, that looks really good, actually. That looks really nice. Okay, I think I'll stick with that. Maybe... Yeah, a bit more like this. I guess the light would be coming from above, wouldn't it? No, I'll leave it like this. That looks nice. And then I think this leather part should just be white. That's what's coming to mind for me. And then I think all the metal parts should either be some kind of... Ooh, that's why I really like that brush. Oh, that looks so nice. Okay, because I think the metal parts should either be some kind of bronze, the Bronze Age. I know him, he plays for the Lakers, right? Sorry, couldn't help myself. Yeah, it should be either some kind of bronze, bronze jade, the Bronze Age, or some kind of, I don't know, some kind of silver. I don't know, it feels a bit too generic. No, bill has saturation on this. Yeah, I just think of that every time I think of Bronze Age, I think of the bronze, yeah, stupid meme with the, is it Sheen from Jimmy Neutron, and then I think of LeBron, and then I immediately think of that one picture of LeBron, the "You Are My Sunshine" picture, and then I have a little giggle in my brain because it looks so goofy. The Bronze Jame, the Bronze Jade, the I think there's another one I saw that was really stupid, kind of funny. The Bronze Jame. Here we go. Okay, so I think this central part actually should be darker. So this will be like so. And then this will be coming down here. Okay, I really like this already. Let me do this. Yeah, let me make these parts white. I don't think they're gonna stay white because her tail is white. Actually, no, that might be good contrast. Let's try it. I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here. Uh, okay, well this looks nice. Okay, whoops. That is not what I was supposed to do. There we go. Much better. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I really like this already. I like this a lot. I have an incredible amount of bias for like cushiony kind of looks, so this is extremely up my alley. Oh, that looks so nice. So fancy schmancy. So the buttons, I'm gonna leave this color for now because it's the only really like good contrasty color I can think of that's coming to mind. This button needs a bit more depth. Much better. Looks cool. Oh, thank you, Mark. Okay, let's try this. I may adjust this. What would this look like? Oh, I might do something like what I did for the please tell. Okay, I almost had a heart attack there. I thought. Okay, I thought I put that on the line work layer for a sec. I freaked out for a bit. Freak out. Oh, freak out. I might do something like what I did for that one Sybil piece. Make the buttons like a really, I don't know. Maybe even dark. What would dark buttons look like on this? No, I think I like this like beige, this like taupe a bit more. Okay. So the stockings should just be like kind of a ashy dark color, I think. Okay, well first of all, let me get rid of the shelf that's in the way. There we go. I think I'm gonna make this a teensy weensy itsy bitsy little micro lard, like, I don't know, brighter, I guess. Maybe less saturated? Yeah, less saturated, I think, is what it needs to be. Brighter and less saturated. There we go. That's what I was looking for. You know what, actually, hang on. Would help a lot here. There's an actual border between the seam of where the part that connects to the thigh is up here. This would be good. Because then I could just do this, and it would give a lot of depth really easily. I'm half tempted to put frills on this, but that wouldn't really work with the design, I think. Actually, no, maybe the inner part should be darker. Actually, no, I'll just leave it like that. Looks good on its own. Damn, for like a really simple color palette, this looks really nice, actually. I'm shocked. Color me perplexed, almost. This is like 3 colors. I guess simpler is usually better, though, honestly. Okay, so the fluff... I guess the fluff will all just be the same color, which is just this color. I don't like that. Why is it doing that? Oh, okay, that's why it's sandbagging it. That's annoying. If you ever get into digital drawing, these like little pixels that don't tessellate all the way will always be your like nightmare. It's your worst enemy. I hate it when it does this. Freaky. Here we go. Fix that up. Clean, clean, clean. All good. It looks cool. 3 already? Time to train? A train is in like the train, or like train is in like you're training something, like for something, like you're gonna beat someone up or something. Mark, who are you beating up? Who are we fighting today? Ooh. color here. Try this. Does she have an eye color? She does, it's just very dark. Okay. There we go. Now for the actual glasses part of this. Yeah, I want the green to remain in there a little bit. That's what that could be. That could be in like an emerald color. Why don't I try that? So this should be like the darker kind of metal up here. And then I think, no, this should be, wait, what color? Yeah, her tufts are already white. So this might have to be darker, like so. And then this color should carry up over here. And then her hair should be like a totally different color. Like a completely different shade of white. Let's start blending in. This is a bit perplexing. Oh, that looks good, actually. That looks pretty nice. Fluff here. So it does just seem to be her neck and her fingers. Okay. Yeah, no markings on her face. Here we go. Perfect. Now for the middle. This kind of silver up here. Yeah, okay. This is a good start. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I want the green to integrate here a little bit. How though? It's a good question. Okay, we'll use that because that just looks better. Yeah, the blue, okay. Let me try that. As I look at the background. A little bit chaotic. Okay. We'll just keep it like that for now. And, oh, right, our crown. I almost forgot. Let me fix some spots here and there. Go. Perfect. There we are. Alrighty. And you know what, just for the fun of it, I think I'm going to add a little bit of something here, maybe. Because I think this is a little too much blue down here. Go. Then maybe the stocking should be a little bit more, teeny bit more like reddish, this kind of burgundy I had going on here. Or maybe the actual, like, the nylon here. What about this? What does this look like? Ooh, okay, I kind of like that. Just try this, and what if I make these also like white? Ooh, wait, I got an idea. I've got an idea. What if I make these burgundy and then I make the stockings white? Okay, or that could happen, that's fine too. So about this, and then this. Not quite. Or maybe the... Ooh, wait, yeah, that kind of looks nice. Something like that. And I'll just adjust this part down here. Much better. Okie dokie. So this is fine. I think all the burgundy parts are okay. It's the white parts now that I gotta figure out. Okay, let me yank all that out real quick and just make a separate layer for these gray bits. Okay. Oh, if I just made them all dark. Okay, some of that looks really good actually. Okay, I think I'll keep that part dark, and then these parts will be the lighter kind of silver. Ooh, this is difficult. You know what? I want to highlight the color on the stockings a bit more. So to do that, sorry, the pattern on the stockings a bit more. So to do that, I might actually put this with a bit more prominence there. Okie dokie. There we are. Much better. Actually, no. I'll leave that like that for now. Ooh, and just to actually, let me continue with this green motif here, make all these like emeralds or something. Or perhaps jade, because that would fit with the motif of the little magazine I'm working on. And let me darken this part down here just to fill in all these little pixelated gaps that are bothering me. Quick fix. There we go. Merge that down. Okay, I think I'm going to keep this at, I don't know, kind of like how it looked before. No, but I think this makes a teensy bit more sense. Yeah, that gives her profile a bit more noticeability. Okay, and then the glasses, her hair is fine. Now this kind of collar part, that's what's throwing me off now. So what am I going to do about that? What to be done? Oh, let me fix up her eye quickly. This should be more of a blue. You know what? The green doesn't work quite as well as I thought down here, so I think I'm going to change that up a bit. Maybe I'll just make that straight up like gold, actually. It's a little out of place. Yeah, I think I'll just use the silver color I had set up. Much better. Okay. What now? Okay, I think I gotta make her neck a bit more visible. A bit more defined. It's a shape. No, not quite. Bad idea. That doesn't look right. You know, actually, I think that's fine. Okay, now it's this blue I gotta figure out. Okay, I figured it out. That was quick. Let's see. Can we get that up to something? There we go. Now it's your eyes that are perplexing me. I don't quite know what to do with them. At least not with this color in particular. Okay, how do her ears go? 2 stripes near the bottom and then 1 point on the corner. Okay, I can do that. Like so. Perfect. And then I think I just need to get, yeah, I need to get her crown in somehow, which shouldn't be terribly difficult. But the gems are going to be tough. There we go. You know, I'll just leave it like that, I suppose, and then I'll put this as the gem color up here. You know, I might just make them all emeralds. Fits a bit more. Okay, her eyes gotta change. I think more yellow should do it. Yeah, it's a bit better. Much nicer. There we go. And I'm not sure if I'm going to gradient the blue of her skin. That might be unnecessary. But just for posterity. Just to see what that looks like. If I just stick to the desaturated blue. Oh, that looks really nice, actually. Okay. I think that's perfect. I think she's done. Yeah, she's really good here. Okay, perfect. Maybe the crown should be silver, though. Yeah, the crown should be silver. Let me change that real quick. Do I even have silver color for this? No. Too dark. Too... Not quite, almost. Perfect. Alrighty. I'm starting to get a little tired. Ooh, actually, wait, that looks kind of nice. Just out of curiosity, what if her shoulders are white? No, doesn't look good. Okay, so I think this color is good for most of her. Bit more saturated. And make this part like blue. Much nicer. Ooh. Very clean. And this part of her crown will be darker. And probably her eyes too. And her glasses and her nose. Actually, a bit more desaturated, I think. There we are. Lower the opacity. Perfect. gradient on that. Why not? Ooh, yeah, that really changes up how it looks, doesn't it? I kind of like that better, honestly. Yeah, just for fun. There we go. And I'll fix that up too while I'm at it. Let me just make that a little cleaner. And brighten this up a bit more. There we go. And let me get her eye color in again. Oh, that does look really good though. Maybe like that, I think. That's a pretty, I'd say, fine color. And I think I might just make the eyes a bit less saturated. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I just make them really big? It's a little creepy. Let me get this color in. What to do here? Okay, that's much nicer. Perfect. There we go. And I think she's good now. You know, what if I make the crown a bit more? Let me swap out this green for this kind of teal. Make this crown a bit more silvery. Here we go. Yank that there and put this here. It's a bit of a wacky angle, but it's fun. Perfect. Let's add in the seam. hell did I put the green? Okay, so it's none of these. Okay, it's up here. There we go. Perfect. And I'll add in some final details up here while I'm at it. I don't think there's anything I really need to add down here. Bit more warmth to this part of the eye up here. Perfect. I don't think there's anything else I gotta add. And I think she's done pretty much. Oof. Okay, that was rough. That took a while. The lines were definitely much harder though than I thought they were gonna be, but she came out great. I'm really happy with how she looks here. And some eyebrows. And her mouth. Maybe a bit bigger for the brush size, probably. Here we go. Okay, it looks relatively correct. Okay. Let's see. Multiply. Now for the shading. So most of the lighting is probably going to be coming from above, which means this part will be visible. This part too, right over here. This part over here too. And probably a few parts of the leg and the stomach. But the most dramatic part will be on the face. Yep. So I'm thinking about it wrong. So we'll be probably going over like that. And who knows? You know, actually, I've already been kind of streaming for almost 3 hours. I think I'm going to end the stream here. And I think I'll finish this up tomorrow, most likely. But it was lovely to have everyone on stream who decided to come on. Thank you all for coming. I hope you have a good evening. And there's definitely more of these to come, because it's a big YCH. So, hope to see you all again soon.